Hey guys, welcome to Write Bites, a series of 10-minute episodes on writing, marketing, and freelancing. In this episode, we have Carol Tice. Carol is the creator of makealivingwriting.com, and she's also the author of the Recession-Proof Freelancer. I've been following Carol since day one of my freelance writing career. Learned a lot of amazing stuff from her, and super excited to have her on to talk with you guys about how to operate your business in the current pandemic and potentially incoming recession climate, and go through some things that'll help you recession-proof your business now and for the rest of your career. Thanks for hopping on, Carol. Super excited to have you.
Sure. And, I think the recession was officially declared in like April. We're here.
Totally.
It's on.
Whatever the stock market says, we're actually here.
But how to find opportunity no matter what crazy thing is going on is because I built my business to six figures in the last recession. 2008, 9, 10, 11 is right when I kind of went from 60 to 100K. Because that's what I had decided to do. And that's the first thing that I'll just share with you is that macroeconomic trends do not have to affect teeny little old you over here. They are gigantic and you are teeny. So there is still 100 grand of work for you in there. Remember that lots of people will be freaking out, giving up, quitting, not doing any marketing, don't know what to do, lots of confusion, they're feeling sad, if you can just understand that there is still opportunity out there and that, if you are willing to market your business, there is always still clients to get. You might have to market harder than you were before, which for most freelance writers is harder than zero because most freelance writers don't do any marketing at all. Yep. So you'll need to step it up from there to do some. And that will really, really help. You won't believe how much more will get done. But so let's talk about some basic things to know. The first is just the mindset. It's really, you got to win the head game of not like, oh my God, everything's on fire, restaurants closing. You have to not like sit and sort of circle in the negativity all the time. And just understand that this is actually a moment of opportunity, that rapid change means opportunity and is a good thing for us in general because all of these shifts need explaining. How they're pivoting, how they're reopening, what their plan is, what the new product is they created to work with you in this scenario. It's all got to be explained with copywriting. So for us, actually, the death scenario is total business stasis. It's like, oh, the economy's kind of okay. It's been okay for a long time. Is this going along like this? It just keeps doing that. Nothing very exciting up or down. That's bad. That's bad for us because there's nothing that needs explaining. It's just sort of, okay, same old, same old. That is a tough market. So that's not our situation. Obviously, rapid change happening, you can find opportunity. And that's because in any downturn, it isn't just everybody loses and the world implodes, the end. There's winners and losers.
Yeah.
And you need to think about who the winners are in this scenario. We all know that Bezos has never been wealthier. So e-commerce, everything you can get delivered to your house, it's doing great. It's happening. The companies that drive it to your house, card and all of those, they're prepping IPOs, those companies. DoorDash is about to do an IPO. So they're busy. All of the tools that we use to talk to each other and do business virtually, all the Zoom and Basecamp and Skype of the world, busy, busy, busy. So think about the types of industries that are doing well. That's where you want to prospect for starters, And this is why I'm always telling people to have 2 to 3 niches and not be all in on one niche. Because if you're all in on travel right now, like you got big problems. Yep. If you were all in on finance or real estate in 2009 or 10, you were in a lot of trouble. So you always want to be a little diverse because industries all have cycles, go up and down. So you look at the industries that are doing good now. Look at subsectors within them that might be doing good now. I have a coaching student who's an ag writer. And when I got her, I was just like, ag, I don't know, can be kind of hard. They don't do a lot of it's more word of mouth and TV ads and not our kind of thing. And what she found within it is regenerative agriculture and ag tech, robots that pick crops and crazy stuff, and legal cannabis, of course. We all know the sin industries, alcohol and cannabis in legal states is boom, boom, boom. Obviously, I don't know why we need more of that right now. No stress. So those are very big. She's been so busy. Besides just thinking about winner loser industries and where you could sub niche within your industries to where the good stuff is right now that's going on.
So kind of like step one, don't panic and assume something's broken. Like if keep doing what you're doing until it's proven not to work. And then step two, look for the winners. If it's not working, look to transition into the industries and niches where the people are winning and money is still coming in, and focus in on those.
Or like sub niches within a niche you've kind of more broadly been in. I think
Totally.
writers overestimate how easy it is to go from, one part of healthcare to another or something, to go into a tech part of a industry, but you haven't written so techy much. They'll explain their tech thing to you. It's okay. You don't have to know about it. I've written about cannabis software and advanced washing machine technology. I'm like the least technical person you're ever going to find. So you get them to explain it to you. It's not hard. The other thing to know is that when the chips are down, it's a period of what they call in entrepreneurship creative destruction. So things are being destroyed, and that means, remember that matter can never be created or destroyed, so that means that energy is being transformed into something else now. Malls that are going to be turned into affordable housing communities, and abandoned business skyscrapers that are going to become vertical agriculture, greenhouses. And so think about how things are going to evolve and change out of this and where that might take you. But the other thing to know with the creative destruction thing is new business registrations are zooming. So if you live in any major city, you probably have a business journal. And if you go look at that business journal, in the back of it, it lists new business registrations. And you can just pull that and use that as a marketing list. Or you can go do it the hard way and get it out of your state, yourself, and get more information. Because, one metric I've been watching here in Seattle is new business startups. And that rate is just, we're way above where we were at this time in 2019.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who've always had a dream, they always wanted to do it, maybe now they got laid off and they went, this is it, I'm doing it. They've been saving, they may have money to spend on that, or they were prepping it and they're the kind of people who are like, I'm going, I don't care what's happening, I'm doing this. I'm on some entrepreneur Facebook groups, and I just had someone pop on and they were like, my dry cleaning business just opened, and I was just like, you poor thing. But no one needs any clothes dry cleaned right now, but I think it shows you how, quixotic and how sticking with their vision entrepreneurs can be about executing no matter what's happening. And man, do they all need marketing help from you.
Massive layoffs on the back end of 11 straight years of growth means a lot of these people coming out actually have at least a little capital, into the ones who've been saving a lot, maybe even a lot of capital to dive in. And they're now like, hey, the 10-year career that I've been doing did not work out. And they're probably not eager to dive into another 10-year career that could, put them out in the cold in the next 10 years.
That's right. You get a lot of people who are like, that's it, I'm done working with a man. I've been laid off 5 times. I'm sick of it. I've been saving. I have a dream. I'm going to do this thing. And now I'm going to do it, So those are all people who you can reach out to. And especially if you're looking to break into copywriting, this can be great starter clients. They need their initial website written or something. They don't even know what they want, sell them whatever it is you like writing. You like writing email sequences, they need it all. So go for it. The other one that actually one of my students turned up is looking at older job ads. Looking at job ads from 4-6 months ago, because maybe the chaos set in and then they just never filled it, or maybe they filled it and the person didn't work out by now. And now no one's applying because the job is old. So you're not in that thing where you're in a stack of 1,000 resumes and your odds are like zero
Hmm.
that you're going to get picked out of there to do the job.
Yeah.
There's better odds. So look at those old jobs. You can always pitch them freelance to full-time and say, hey, I don't know if you ever filled that job, you need some help while you're onboarding that person. My experience as a staff writer is that the process of hiring a staff writer is a 6 to 12 month process. That's the other reason you can look at old ads. They may still not be done.
Yeah.
When I got hired for my first staff job, I was in like the second or third tranche of a dozen people that they were giving a writing article assignment to. They had done, I think, a whole set. Nobody they liked. Second set I was in, I was
Dang.
the only one that wrote something they thought they could put in the paper. So it's a long, elaborate, they're giving you personality tests, writing tests, on and on and on. To do a permanent hire, often it's like a 6-figure gig, they really want to do it right. In the meanwhile, who's writing their stuff? um, so they often need freelance help. So pitching freelance to full-time job openings is always a fave of mine. And yeah, looking at the older ads right now, I think can pay off with all the chaos.
Totally.
Because they may have like put that out there and then just like, whoa, their focus went somewhere else and like the position's just sitting there. Or by the other thing I always experienced as a staffer is by the time they fill that position, the next person gives notice. If it's in it's like, it's more of a continuous need that they have an open position and that they're taking the money from that position and just sticking it on the freelance line and freelancing it
That's
out.
really
Because if they don't do that, it creates a domino effect where everyone is overworked and more people quit and yeah, it gets worse and worse. So if they're smart, they're freelancing it out.
That's super interesting because one of the things I've noticed over with landing clients is it's almost a guarantee that someone you talk to, if you ever get the, oh, I'm not like, your rates are too high. It's almost a guarantee if you like reach back out to them like 2 months later and see if they found someone they liked at the spot at the price point they were going for. The answer is no.
Often
So
the answer could be no, or they hired someone and what do you know? They were terrible.
and
Yeah,
now
and
they're a lot
now,
more interested in paying more because they've had time to experience something that didn't work out.
and they're further behind the 8 ball than ever,
Yep.
yeah. So I always try and keep it professional. If they're like, yeah, your rates are too high, I'm like, if your budget ever changes, happy to talk with you again. And sometimes they do. They come back and talk to you again
Yep.
because yeah, they went on Fiverr and tried to cobble something together and it was a complete nightmare. And now they're back and ready to do it in a legit way. I feel like that leads into a discussion of rates, not just finding the clients, but hearing a lot of panicked people out there like, oh my God, I feel like I should discount. And I just want to say that I have a big bank of coaching grads out there who are making so much money, bidding so high. And, every mastermind I get to, I'm nervous. They're all going to say, oh, I'm starving and it's not working. They're all like, oh my God, so busy. Haven't been around in months. If you are looking, the big thing, I guess, is remember that you're looking for value clients in this environment, not commodity clients.
Yeah.
Like commodity 10 bucks a post kind of clients, they're going bust. They didn't really have that working of a business model to begin with. Now times are hard. They're just going to disappear.
Yeah.
But value clients are thinking very strategically about what's going on now. My situation is I just signed 2 book ghostwriting clients. There's a lot going on at high-end authority building type of activity where people are going, okay, it's kind of a fallow time. What could I create that I could emerge from this in a power position?
Yep.
All the smart players are like, how could I take market share away from my weaker competitors who are going to freak out during this and I could be twice as big at the end of this? They're thinking very big and they're thinking about value content that they will pay very well for.
Yep. Yeah, the recessions is when all the people who end up big make their move. We see that through history. Like every major recession, you had some emerging mogul make real strategic investments that then catapult them once the economy kicks back.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of mergers, the people snapping up weaker players, and of course that all needs copywriting, explaining, integration, explanations, crisis communications to the employees so they don't all quit, and like
Yep.
that all spawns a whole world of content that has to be developed every time.
Totally.
So that's happening. Yeah, so you want to think about who's thinking smart and strategically about this and understands that they need the best right now.
And the people who, some of these strategic players that maybe have been on your radar, they may not have been ready to hire you or ready to work with you 2 years ago because they had been scaling a system that worked really well in the upswing. And most of those systems involved full-time hires. We're now in a disruptive mode where they're looking to act fast and make new moves. They're ready for new players. They're ready for new talent. They may have said no to you 10 times before, but they may say yes to you now because what they're doing is different and their needs are different.
Well, and the other thing is in turn, what you see is mass layoffs. Companies freaking out and laying off.
Yeah.
5 figures of people, 4 figures of people, lots and lots of people. And then they all look around and go, how's the work going to get done? And then they start hiring freelancers.
Yep.
So yeah, because a lot of the public companies will do mass layoffs because it helps their stock. It helps their bottom line. They're like, oh, good, you cut expenses. We like you better. Your stock is going to go up. But then they have to actually continue delivering. And then there's a scramble to, plug the hole with freelancers, which are a better deal for them. They're all excited. It's a win-win for everybody.
Totally.
But the other thing is that this is a good time to market with strategic discounting done in a very particular way.
Okay.
I keep getting a conversation from writers who want to cut their rates with existing clients. Just like apropos of nothing, of not hearing anything from the client. They're just like, I feel like I should just tell them I'll work for less. The answer to that question is no. Don't ever volunteer to just cut your rates with people you're already working with. Just don't ever do that. If they come to you, that's another conversation. Please don't just freak out and start charging less. If you need business right now, you need to get some business in the door, you can do a thing where it's like, here's a product launch package that I usually charge $5,000 for, and I'm going to take 2 people at $2,500. This is for the first 2 people who want this deal, because I just need $5,000 right now. Have you ever gone, gee, I need some money. Well, how can I get some money? Well, the easiest way to get some money is to onboard a new client who gives you a 50% upfront, right? You just need some money right now. So the thing you do with that sale is you widely promote it. It's a form of marketing. The revenue you're giving up is a marketing cost. The idea is that it gets the word out about what you do to a large group of people, and if you do it right, you oversell it. A couple people, you do it to and more people keep coming. Sorry, the deal's already gone, but happy to work with you. Let's take a thing. And now they have a sense of what your full rip rates already are, and so hopefully there isn't a big conversation around that. But it's a marketing ploy, basically. You give up some revenue to get it out. So keep people seeing the thing where they're like, well, I'm just going to send this to my existing little friends. And I'm like, no. You want to tell the whole universe. It's a marketing thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
They're afraid they'll get too many people. I'm like, no, you want too many people.
Yeah.
Because you want to oversell it and get some of the $5,000, the full rip people. That's why you do it.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to me that rate cutting really makes much sense. If you have clients that are starting to ghost you, checks are starting to get later, just be marketing to replace them. Just understand that they're looking like losers in the recession. Like there's winners and losers. Like they're starting to smell like a loser. Just, I feel like most writers' instinct seems to be to be stressed and upset about this and worrying about what will happen. No, assume they're on the way out the door. Don't be just like we're wondering and worrying. No, as soon as they start to smell like a loser, you are like making your plans to replace them.
Absolutely. This is great stuff. Thanks so much for hopping on, Carol.
Sure.
And just to reiterate, kind of the core point here, you mentioned it, your business blew up during the last recession. I got started during the last recession, and even, for the kind of the 9 months leading up to it, I had been focusing on some side businesses. And then once things started, I got a little spooked and dove straight into, back into full-time freelancing. And I was back up to what I had been making previously in like 30 days. Like just overnight, just back up to, 15K a month, 3 months going. And then even you talk about that initial, the marketing, the discounting, kind of, it wasn't even for me, it wasn't even about the pandemic, but just experimenting with offering like a discount package to see if I could land a gig in a short time period. It was actually spurred on by a Twitter dare, and landed a 5K deal in 48 hours off of 10 pitches. And that's the type of stuff, that's the type of stuff that works even better now when things are in flux than they do when you're on a long uptick. So, if you're watching this and you're kind of have been thinking that now's a bad time to get in, flip that around. It's actually the opposite. When things are in flux, when things are seeming to go downhill, in many cases, there's almost never a better time to dive into this.
It can be. I'll just say, like, parting thing to say is, think about identifying a prospect you think is a good opportunity right now and sending 100 pitches a month. This is what I make my coaching students do. Every time I say that, people like freak out. They're just like, because of course I haven't done any marketing, and that sounds like so much, but you can learn how to mass produce this, crank this out the door. And that's what it takes to level up your business, I find, is something on that order of marketing volume. You want to go from 20 to 80. You want to get started from nothing. It's going to take a marketing push. You don't have to do this your whole life at this volume. If you're good, you'll get referrals. Inbound will start to roll for you. But if you want to take this to another level, you want to go after a new type of client or something, think about doing a marketing push of a lot of marketing. And it will make a big difference. You will be amazed once you start telling lots of people that you need the business.
Sounds very similar to 20 pitches per week, guys. You've never heard me say that before.
Yeah, is that your mantra? Yeah,
My
exactly.
mantra.
Yeah, I just hear from so many writers who are like, I sent 3 LOIs this month, go me. And I'm just like, that's not going to be enough, just not close to.
Gotta bump those numbers up.
You kind of have to get the wheel turning, then it'll kind of go more on its own, where you don't need the 100.
Yeah.
But think about what kind of full court marketing press could you put on. Could you get a lot bigger LinkedIn network that you could all ask to refer you? What can you do to really market yourself more? In a big way.
Yep.
And see where things come from, and then do more of that kind of marketing, wherever it pays off. Do more.
Totally. That's awesome stuff. And I'll include the link to Carol's Recession-Proof freelancer book, but also
it's
when
free.
it's free. There we go. Perfect. And when this goes live, you're actually going to be doing a special for the Freelance Writers Den. Can you tell us real quickly about that?
Absolutely. The Freelance Writers Den, since 2011, has helped about 15,000 writers grow their income. It has about 300 hours of trainings in it, 24/7 forums. It's usually $25 a month, but we're celebrating our 9th anniversary. So the first month in Thanksgiving week, our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale it's just $9. Just like, if you're not willing to invest $9 in your career, like, go do something else. This is like all you can eat learning for $9. Stop buying $600, $1,000, $2,000 classes everywhere that don't teach you how to find a client, and come to the all you can eat learning world where you can ask questions and we'll help you. We actually want you to get hired and do this for a career. I find that not everybody seems to care if their people do. They just want to tell them that they need another craft class, but you don't.
Totally. And
if you write well, there are clients out there for you right now.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of people who follow this series who have asked me about a community for beginners, which I do not offer and do not plan to offer. And Carol's group, the Freelance Writers Den, it's designed for beginners through intermediate. And it's probably, there's no other group on the web that I've heard more direct firsthand testimonials from beginners having their initial success through this. So highly recommend it. If you've been looking for that, if you're in that startup stage and you've been looking for a place to connect with other writers and get some helpful materials, very much recommend Freelance Writers.
Yeah, we'll get you started. We have a Get Your First Freelance Writing Jobs bootcamp. We will get you rolling.
Awesome. Thanks so much for hopping on, Carol. This was great.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Totally. We will see you guys in the next episode.